Hello guys, welcome back once again. This part of the video we will look at the RSA encryptions and decryption. We'll be actually looking at both the public and the private keys. We will program a very simple console application making use of both the private and the public key encryption within the .NET framework. So basically we can have most of the RSA cryptographic service provider in a system.security.cryptography on the .NET framework. So rather than just talking too much, this is a very straightforward stuff, so we will just get on it straight away and get this done. So first of all, what we do is, as you can see, I've got this class from the previous video, RSA for encryption. So what we do is we just start straight away. So first we have a private static and RSA crypto service provider. We just name it CSP, whatever. Crypto service provider is equal to the new instance of it. So we added the key size, which will be 2048. So the next bit, of course, will be an RSA parameter, and this we call this private key. And of course we have another RSA parameters, and of course this is our public key. So as you can see, they're all pretty straightforward, so we can actually initialize them inside our constructor. So our private key will be CSP dot export parameters. So we pass in the true for the private key, and the next bit, of course, will be our public key, and it's the same CSP.export parameters, and this one will be false since we're not exporting all the parameters. So the next bit, of course, is we added one method that returns string, and we call it public key string. So we have a variable SW for a new instance of a string writer, and we have another one for XML serializer. This one will be a new XML serializer. So that will be a new instance, right? So we pass in the type of RSA parameters. So the next bit, of course, is access that serialize. So we pass in our string writer and our public key token. So what we do is return XW dot to string. This is all we do for here for now. So what we do next is, of course, we create a method to encrypt the test. So our first method, of course, is a public that returns string, and we call it encrypt. So it takes our string plain test and we go ahead and encrypt the test straight away. So first bit, of course, will be we instantiate our CSP. So that will be a new instance of RSA crypto service provider, and the CSP that import parameters we passed our public key, and we have our data. Variable data, this will be encoding that Unicode that get bytes. So we pass our plain text. So the next bit, of course, is a variable, our cipher test. This will be a CSP dot encrypt. So we passed in our data and then the false. So what we do is we return convert dot to base 64 string, and we pass in our cipher test. So that's all we need to do for the encryption part, right? So as you can see, it's very straightforward and very simple. So the next bit, of course, is we create our method to decrypt the encrypted test. So we have string as our cipher test. So what we do is we bang on straight. First, we have a variable. It's a data in bytes. This will be convert to, from base 64 string. So we pass our cipher, then our CSP dot import parameters. We pass in our private key, and we say variable plain text is equal to CSP dot decrypt. So we passed in our data bytes, and we have false. So we return encoding dot unicode dot get string and we pass in our plain text data, or plain text. So as you can see, we've sorted out both the encrypt and the decryption side. So what we would do next is just write some simple stuff on the console.main, obviously, to start everything up. So the next thing is RSA enc. RSA, start a new instance of it, right? So the next bit, of course, is console.write. So we can say our public key is rs dot public key string. So once we have that, we can go on, and obviously we can actually make a new line. We can make a new line here. So we can say enter your test to encrypt. So we can say variable test is equal to console.readline. So if test is not string dot empty, so we can say variable cipher is equal to rs dot encrypt, then we pass in our test. So now we have our cipher test is our cipher, so we can make a new line. So as you can see, this is a pretty straightforward stuff. So after this, we just come back to this bit here and we say actually we can pull a string here. Is equal to string.empty. So we can say so here what we do is we say press enter to decrypt. So if that is the case, first of all we can put our console on a read line. If that's the case, then we will say variable plain test is equal to rs.decrypt. We pass in our cipher. Then we say console.readline. Actually console dot write line, and we say decrypted test. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do is just test it. Yeah, so as you can see, we've got a public key XML details converted to string. And here we just enter any test to encrypt it. You will say anything. So this is what we do. So as you can see, this is a cipher test that we get after the encryption, right? So this is basically the encrypted hey, you are here, mate. So it's nothing really fancy, but it's just a little procedural stuff. So here obviously we press enter to decrypt it back to the test. So once we press enter, we get the decrypted test back to the same, back to the same before the cipher, before it's been encrypted. So as you can see, it's very straightforward. But one more thing that I would love to make clear is, I mean, the RSA is suitable for encrypting tests. So you might want to look at some other ways of encryption if you want to encrypt the whole file or whatever you want to do. So once again, thanks for your time. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel, and hope to catch up once again. Bye bye.